The story begins at the entrance of the demon realm. The man told everyone to double-check their supplies, teams, and positions. One of the participants was nervous, but his friend told him not to because they have the Flying Tiger sect. He heard them inside because he knows that the Flying Tiger sect doesn't choose their members based on class only. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there. Our protagonist's name was Seo Gangram. His class is tertiary insectile grade, and his affiliation is Flying Tiger sect. 5 years prior, after the Day of Awakening, everyone's abilities were decided based on their Bazi destinies. The Bazi destiny is something they are born with, and it depends on the day and time they were born. But for him, destiny is a load of crap. Someone taps him from behind and asks him if he's a Flying Tiger sect because he thinks they're on the same team. He also said that it was his first time taking part in an annihilation mission and really nervous, but he's super glad to be fighting with someone from the Flying Tiger sect. On the other hand, he wonders why he's talking to him and if he's a newbie. The three men appeared and called him. They tell him to be careful because the man he was talking to is Seo Gangram, making him shocked. He looks back nervously, and when he saw him looking at him back, he fearfully said he made eye contact with him. He expected it because they think Seo Gangram killed his teammates and stole their powers. A lot of people come back injured when they're in the same team as Seo, and there's death written everywhere in his fate. So if they are in the same team as him, they will be unlucky. Those kinds of rumors spread because of his power. He opens his destiny window and saw his power named Destiny Detection that can check his own and others' destiny window, and the Destiny Stealing power that can partially extract a dead opponent's destiny and make it his own, but that will add to his karma. It was an ominous power that allows him to steal destiny from a corpse, and it's also true that many people who were his teammate were injured because they were probably all affected by his unlucky destiny. The destiny classes are divided into 5. The highest class is Divine. After it is Draconic, Ghostly, Humanly, and Insectile. Those classes are once again divided into Primary Grade, Secondary Grade, and Tertiary Grade. Seo class is the lowest of the low, the bottom of the bottom, the Tertiary Insectile Grade. In other words, he's not strong enough to kill another awakened, and there are also several conditions that need to be fulfilled to use his power. He has neither killed nor stolen a destiny from a corpse, so he wonders why he's getting upset. Suddenly, a girl asks him what are he doing there all on his own, making him surprised. She was Yuerang, class Tertiary Divine Grade, and affiliation is Flying Tiger Sect. She told him that there's a dinner party after the annihilation mission, so he should come. Jang Tian, his class is Secondary Ghostly Grade, and affiliation is also Flying Tiger Sect. He also told him that he wasn't there last time either, so he need to go. But he stand up ready to walk away, telling them that he's not going because he knows that even if he went, he'd just be treated like trash by members of other sects. Orang told him that she skipped her school field trip to come and ask him if it was because of those losers who are scared of him. And he just asked her if she was aware that he's more than 10 years older than her, but she told him that he's weaker than her. They grab him together, trying to convince him to join them. Then someone called Harang and Tihun. It's Kang Doan. His class is Secondary Humanly Grade, and also a member of Flying Tiger Sect. He told them that he get that they want to hang out with Seo, but the mission was about to begin, so they should get back to their positions. They agreed, but before they go, Tihun told Seo to promise that he'll come to the dinner party, but he just laughed and waved goodbye. Doan told him to take care of himself, and he replied that the group at the forefront are the ones in danger, and he was in the back so he shouldn't be worried, but he told him that he was still worried since he's not by his side, to which he was grateful to him. They walk in different directions while he wishes that he could fight beside him too. The announcer announces that the special Demon Realm Annihilation mission will begin. They wait to open the realm. Before going in, he told himself that he's just taking care of the leftover demons from the back and he needs to do well so he doesn't harm the sect. He enters the realm and saw the high-class monsters have appeared in masses. Doeon, Tihun, and the others were at the front. The monsters attack them, but Doeon fight back and Tihun fight back too. Harang summoned his puppets to attack the monsters. Someone announced that Sawis are being summoned and told the rear group to prepare for battle. It throws a lot of small balls that turn into small monsters. The rear group told the front groups to ignore the low-class monsters and stand their positions. One of the small monsters looks at him and attacks him, but he cut it in time. A few moments later, they still fighting against the monsters. He was exhausted because there are more than he expected, and he can't breathe properly because of the demonic energy. When he knows that he needs to get out there soon, a monster appeared behind him and attacks him. The other monsters notice him and launch to attack him while he's down on the ground. He closes his eyes, hoping someone to help him. A green light appeared and the woman made a barrier. The rear groups were grateful to see the Flying Tiger Sect mistress's power. He thanked her and he got a welcome gesture from Shin Sua. Her class is tertiary divine grade, and her affiliation is Flying Tiger Sect Mistress. Suddenly, the stone collapsed, making her surprised, and the whole place shakes, and someone asked if isn't there still a long way to go before they reach the boss. A big monster appeared and walked toward them, making them panic about why it was there immediately. It senses something from its back, but before it can react, it gets cut in half and collapsed on the ground dead. While they blind by the impact of it, a woman comes out of the fog and asks where is Seo Gangren. They were stunned for a moment, then panic, asking what's happening and who is she. He can't believe that the woman kills the boss all on her own and wonder why she's looking for him. He decided to check with his destiny detection first and activate his destiny detection power. He saw that the woman's name is Baek Young. Her class is primary divine grade. He was confused about what is a primary divine grade because he had never seen that class before. He checked it and saw that it allows the person to regress to the past with his current memories intact and cannot be used after death. He decided to go down there thinking that Young might have come there because of some information about him, but the root lit up and told him to stay there. He knows that it was a distant whispering technique and he guesses it's not his place to intervene. Sua gets down asking Young what she wants, but she just asks her back if she's Seo Gangren. She replied that Seo is his sect member and she can talk to her, but she just replied that it was fine and swing her sword in the air, killing the people who got hit. She told them that she'll just kill all of them, assuming Seo Gangren is amongst them. Sue attacks her furiously, while Seo trying to break off at Sua's barrier, knowing that he should step up before it's too late. He continuously stabs the roots and told Sua to let him go, while the people were running away from Young and Sua. She told her that she'll let the others live if she just hand over Seo, but Sua told her that she won't let her kill any of her sect members. Young swings her sword, making Sua throw to the wall hard and fall to the ground in pain. She raised her sword to kill her, but Harang, Tihan, and Doan appeared behind her, making her look back. She turned around, swinging her sword at Harang, and jumped immediately to attack Doan. Then she cut him into pieces. Tihan attacked her furiously, but she easily caught his hand and killed him because he was in the way. The other people were trying to get out, but there was a barrier. She walked closer to them and killed them all. When the killing spree was happening, he's still trying to get out of Sua barrier, cutting on it continuously. When he hit it hard, he broke it and he falls to the ground full of blood. He tried to stand up and was shocked to see Young walking close to him. He looked around, realizing that many people were dead and he was too late. He cried because he knew that it could have ended with just him, but because of him, a mere insectile grade, now most of them is dead. She raised her sword ready to kill him, realizing that he was Seo Gangren. But a root appeared under her and surrounded her. Sua jumps to attack her, telling her not to dare touch his sect member, but she blocks her attack. Sua tried to fight her even though she was extremely injured. Young couldn't understand her because if she only gave Seo, she would have saved everyone else. Young stabs her in the chest, and Sua replied that it's a sect leader's duty to protect a sect member, making Seo surprised. The barrier's been undone, which means Sua died. He cried, knowing that he's gonna die and he can't win against her. But he knows that she's there to kill him and that he was the only one supposed to die. But he wonders why Shin Sua is the one that died. Suddenly, the interface appeared, checking corpses in the area and asking him if he will use his power destiny stealing. He agreed and his power activated. It warned him that karma will be accumulated when using his power and told him that there are 421 dead in the area, so it asks him whose destiny will he steal. He bites his lips hard and replied all 421 of them. Then the interface checked for the destinies that can be stolen. He knows that it's all because of one human that had an insectile grade destiny. He wonders how many people died because of that one person. The interface told him that due to his low magic rank, only one condition will be extracted, and due to an influx of targets, destinies will be randomly extracted. While his obtaining the ability Blooming White Flower, Hidden Form Technique, 1000 Weighted Axe, Air Walking, and increasing his water resistance and increasing his magic because of obtaining portions of the target's magic. He knows that they were right and that it's all because of him. His destiny killed everyone. She told him that he has such an interesting destiny, making him look up while obtaining the tree leaf method. She told him to just die while he has done stolen the destinies of 421 people. He attacks her, hitting her in the chest, while telling her that it's all because of her, making her surprised. She attacked him back, clashing their swords together. He decided not to let it end like that, and he'll get his revenge against her before he dies. While their swords is clashing at each other's, he activated his Master of the Sword, and the ability Eye of an Hawk. He launches to attack her while activating his reflexes, but she blocked his attack. She attacked him back, but he blocks it while activating the Golden Buddha and Hardened ability. He got cut, but his Pain Resistance ability was activated. He also activated his Air Walking ability to walk in the air and avoided her attacks. He activated his 1000 Weighted Axe to attack her because he saw that she was open from behind. But before he can hit her, she noticed him and summoned an icicle to attack him. He got hit and falls to the ground. He was furious because even if he had those abilities, he doesn't know how to use them. He was grateful that some of the abilities were automatically activated. but he can't take advantage of them with his current body or weapon. Even after stealing the destinies of 421 people, he still can't properly take revenge. She attacks her using ice, making him wish he understood what the abilities were capable of. Then remember that there's an ability he understands well. He got hit in the leg, making him shout in pain while she was walking closer to him. He looked at her and she told him that it was pointless because he was destined to die. He pulled off the ice and jumped backward, then activated the tree leaf method, summoned the roots underground, and attacked her using them. She was surprised, but still managed to block it, and cuts it, realizing that compared to before, she thought he was a swordsman, but he seems well versed in spells. She cuts all the roots he attacked at her, knowing that the spells like that would be difficult for him to maintain for long. While she was busy cutting the roots, he hides to one of the roots and he appeared behind her, and stabbed her using the piece of ice in her neck. He pulled it off and smiled because he killed her and he got his revenge. Both of them falls to the ground, but she falls without a head. He was too injured but was happy that he managed to kill Baek Young. He caught blood knowing that it was all over. He tried to sit up, releasing a lot of blood. The interface told him that his regeneration ability has activated. But he stopped it and cancelled its activation because he thinks there was no point and nothing would change anyway. Back then, and even now, nothing changed to him. In his youth, the man told him that his destiny is rife with perseverance and death. He will lose his parents at a young age and his life will be full of misfortune. Just like the man said, he lost his parents before he could even mature and got involved in a variety of accidents. Everyone around him suffered misfortune and he was destined to be weak in misfortune. Regardless, they still accepted him and they died because of him. He thought if only he looked for Young first, if only he was the first to die, and if he did that, he would have been fine. He wishes that he can rewind time and look back, realizing the regression ability that can return to the past while retaining his memories. He steals the regression ability at Young, not knowing when he'll return. But he still activated the regression ability, gladly taking it even if it returns him before he meets Baek Young. He begs and catches the light telling him that it activates his ability and his hand faded. He slams his hand hard on the table and woke up in some room confused. He heard the door open and a person greeted him saying that he's there to get his horoscope read. He looks up, shakingly gets his file, and hides behind it happily because he saw Sue, which means he's back. The man told him that they were finally on their first date, so he was hoping to see how compatible they are. He looks at Sue closely, realizing that she doesn't have a mask on, which means he's really back because Shin Sue isn't dead, nor has she lost her eyes, and he promised that he won't let things happen like that again. He passes them a piece of paper and a ball pen to write their name, date of birth, and time. A few minutes later, the man passes his paper to him. But he realizes that Sue seems uncomfortable and remembers she mentioned that he got involved with a weird guy before, so he'll need to make sure she knows ahead of time. He told them to allow him to see their compatibility and told the man that his horoscope shows that he's a solid gold type. And Sue was a solid wood type, so horoscopes like it is called wood cutting gold. And it's an awful compatibility where the axe will cut down the tree, making the two surprised. She smiled and told the man that she guessed they have no choice if their compatibility is bad. But the man got furious at him, asking him what he thinks he was doing and asked where was the owner there. He calmly replied that the owner was at the counter. The man told Sue that they should go, but she told him that she wanted to get his fortune told. He furiously told her that she'll regret it and asked her if she think a woman like her can meet a great guy like him. Seo told him that she seems has no intentions of meeting him and pointed to the exit way, making the guy more angry, and slammed the door going out while telling Sue not to come back for him. After the man left, she told him that she thought the places like that only mentioned the good things in life, making him feel guilty because usually that's the case. She told him that he seems like he's good at it and asked if she can get a fortune reading, to which he agreed. Suddenly, their place shake uncontrollably, making him surprised, and they panic. Then the interface appeared announcing that their stats are being calculated based on their destiny. He was expecting it, but he can't do much about the ringing and dizziness. She slams her hand into the table, ordering him to get underneath the table and grab him. He realized that in his past life, Sue protected him too, but he told himself to focus because he said to himself that he would change the future. When the shaking stopped, they come out and she asked what was the weird announcement. But she noticed that he was coming out and told him to wait for her, but he thinks it would be best if he don't get involved with Sue. Later, he arrived at the canteen and looked around hoping that there was something decent he could use. He found something and grabs it quickly and hides it when Sue appeared behind him asking where is he going. She grabbed him, telling him that they need to evacuate, and she pulled him to run even though he tried to stop her. Suddenly, they heard screaming and the people come out running, saying that there was a monster. One man was running and shouting for help because a monster bite him. She panicked because she can't help him. He pushed her aside and cut the monster in half. He knows that the monster named Gigantic Worm would come. It's a tertiary insectile grade and it's a big worm that usually eats grass. but also eats animals and humans. He jumped to attack the worms, telling everyone to get to safety, and killed all the monsters in his way. Later, he finally killed the last one, but someone screams for help. He runs toward the scream while telling everyone to get a hold of something, because those bugs are not that strong. He was shocked when he saw Sua holding a fire extinguisher to kill the monster. She smiles while telling them that it really isn't as strong as they seem, and she got one too. He laughed because he thinks it's funny seeing someone capable of killing dragons be happy about something like that. He told everyone that the stairs are clear and they should get down before more of the monsters appeared. The people run to go outside, but he just leaned down and grabbed spirit pearls inside the monsters. Although the monsters were lower grades, he got a lot more than he expected. She asked him if he's not going down while he was trying to get off the monster blood. He put it inside his packet while asking her why she isn't evacuating, and she replied that she can't leave him alone. He asked her if she was worried about someone she had just met, and she replied yes, making him realize that she was still the same. He asked her if she would wait even though she won't know what else could happen. When she tried to explain, he called her name and told her that he needed to tell her something. She asked what it was, and he replied that his name is Shin Sua, class tertiary draconic grade, making her ask what is he doing. But he continued and said her attribute is wood and she have an ability called the tree leaf method. Suddenly, the destiny window appeared in front of her. He asked her if the destiny window was open, and she replied that she did see something and she do see the ability called the tree leaf method. He asked her if she remembered the announcement they heard in the room because it seems that they have all gained superpowers. He opened his cell phone flashlight knowing that since they awakened, they shouldn't die as long as they don't meet that thing, and told her that they should go down. While going down, she asks him what kind of destiny he has. But he told her that it'd be better if they don't tell each other about the contents of their destiny windows, and it seems like others can see it, to which she agreed. His destiny window is the same as it was 5 years ago, and he didn't seem to retain the abilities he stole prior to his regression. But only one thing seems different. It was currently, he has built up a great amount of karma, so he thinks that it's likely that's the result of stealing the destinies of 421 people. He also knows that if he wants to change the future, he needs to use the destiny stealing ability. But currently gaining more karma is dangerous. Karma builds when committing great crimes like murder or when a specific ability is used. And if too much karma builds up, the target goes beyond the border, and everyone that has gone beyond the border has suffered. She stopped him because she thinks there was someone over there, and she called for the person who was wrapped in something. She runs, assuring the person that they'll get him out of there. Suddenly, a worm appeared behind the person and he stabbed it to kill it. He was glad that it was only just one, and she asked him if someone was inside it. He knows that the easiest way to check if they're alive or not is to activate his destiny stealing ability. It told him that currently, the number of deceased people nearby is 1. Then he shake his head to let her know. He knows that most of the people there were dead. Some ability appeared, making him realize that they had a decent ability, and if they awakened, they could have lived. The ability is named Flame Manipulation. Class is tertiary insectile grade. He can summon and manipulate a small flame. He obtained it, and as a penalty, he earned karma, but he knows that it was perfect because he need abilities like that. Suddenly, they heard a loud bang sound, and she immediately ran toward it, guessing that there was something over there. Later, they saw someone killing while laughing and saying that killing monsters is easy because it's a tutorial. He killed more monsters, telling it to let him face a boss already. Then he notices them and walks toward them, wondering if they're survivors. He asked them if they were characters that will ally with him and introduce himself as Gajam. He told him that his name is Seo Gangram, knowing that it was where Gajan started too. Gajan asked her what her name was, and she replied that she was Shin Sua. He shakes their hand happily, telling them that the ally event is over and it should start soon, making her ask him what he's talking about. Doc Gajam, class is tertiary divine grade with an attribute of gold. Ask them if art most game introductions based on a certain formula. His ability is Dreamer. Class is primary divine class with a description said the line between dreams and reality becomes vague, and the user is less affected by ghostly energy. Also, mentality, pain, resistance, and fear resistance are all fixed at the primary draconic grade. He knows that Gajam will soon become the leader of one of the 5 great sects. However, to think he's capable of doing it when he hasn't even awakened yet is amazing. Gajan told them that either they defeat a boss with allies, or they gain a strong ally in the midst of battle, or maybe something like awakening thanks to an ally's sacrifice. He knew he was a famous web novel writer, but he's pretty delusional. Suddenly, their attention was caught when they heard something. A man was shouting for help while running away from the enormous worm. Class is primary insectile grade. It's a monster composed of multiple insects, and it will be defeated when all the insects are killed. The man slipped because of the monster's blood, and when he looked up fearfully, then he got eaten up by the monster, making Sua surprised. Gajan realizes that it was the boss of the prologue they have to defeat. While she's telling Gajan that they need to run, he was in the front with his flame and throws it toward the monster to attack. He asks him if he can kill it, and he replied no and explained that at that point they can't kill it. While he's explaining, it jumped to attack them, so he immediately told them to run. He also runs while he's attacking it with his fire and noticed that his attacks don't work. They run fast and are chased by the monster when it was near to attacking him. Fortunately, he avoided it, but it goes inside the wall, making her worried about him and told him to hurry up and go over her position. Kajin drags her away, telling her not to stop while the monster was behind them. It blocks his way, making Suo worriedly shout his name. She caught the monster's attention, but he attacked it using his fire, telling it to just look at him. It attacked him. Fortunately, he avoided it. While thinking, considering how things have turned out, he knows that he'll have to stall for time. Kajin runs away with Suo telling him that he won't forget about his sacrifice. He runs while being chased by it, assuring himself that he can do it and that he just needs to endure until the Fate Protection Agency arrives. He tripped and fall to the ground and didn't expect to be only capable of doing such little damage to it. When he tried to stand up, it caught up to him and opened its mouth to attack him. But he turned around fast and attacked inside its mouth using his fire, wondering if his attack worked. The monster shook in pain, but it looked up at him and tried to attack him again, making him realize that his attacks didn't work. Suddenly, someone throws a large wood at it and Suo told him to hurry up and run away. Small monsters come out of it and attack her. Fortunately, she blocks it in time. He burned the small monsters and tells her to hurry up and use the tree leaf method. But she said she can't because she needs plants in the area. Still, he told her that he's sure it'll work with lumber too. She realized she was holding lumbers and ordered them to grow. When it does, she tried to make them bigger. The lumbers grows and attacks the monster. They were stunned at first, but when she composed herself, she grabbed him to run. But she stopped because a lot of small monsters were crawling in her woods toward them. She collapsed on the ground thinking that it was over and cried because she came there to save Seo but failed. He told her that trees give life to flames. Then an interface told her that her and Seo fates are becoming intertwined and her fate is giving life to Seo fate. He attacks it using his fire, and thanks to Suo Woods it becomes bigger. Because of it, his flame manipulation power is being temporarily evolved from tertiary insectile grade to primary insectile grade. He knows that their abilities are based off their Bazi destinies, and the logic of the Bazi horoscopes are applied to battle. He looks at his hand and he defeated the primary insectile grade enormous worm. She was ecstatic that they win, but he collapsed on the ground, making her worried and asked if he's okay. He replied that is fine while receiving extra rewards for having defeated an opponent stronger than him. Later, they arrived at the first floor exit while he was in anemia due to lack of mana. She held the exit door excitedly and said they can finally get out. But her words cut off when she opened it and saw a different place. She wonders where are they because she knows that the building was definitely in the middle of the city without noticing that they are being healed. Seo noticed the totem poles in the lobby and didn't expect the first floor to be connected to the place too. Totem pole, class tertiary draconic grade. It's a totem pole containing the energy of repression and fulfillment. It also heals humans that come near it and prevents demonic beasts from approaching. The door vanished, making them panic, and she asked him what they should do. He told her that they'll rest for now because there aren't any monsters there. Then someone asked him how did he survive. Suo got furious seeing Gajin saying that it was strange that the heroine Shin Suo would have left him. Suo was angry hearing it and told him that he's a villain side character who betrays their friend, and is the only one remaining alive, making him stunned and collapse on the ground. Is denying it although he knows that it makes sense, still he thinks he can't be a villain. He thinks Gajin was worse than before and told Suo the way. On the other hand, the other people were panicking about where are they, surprised that their injuries heal, and wondering why they can't get a service or signals. Suddenly, the place blacks out, making the people more panic, and a second later, it lights up again, showing someone in the center of the lobby. The person said it looks like the members of the area are all there and introduced herself as Anavi Chasha from the Central Branch Office of the Fate Protection Agency. She told them that starting at that moment, she intended to manage everyone who was there, making the people confused about what is the Fate Protection Agency. Then disagree and told her that they kidnapped them, but he knows that it was the true beginning. He was a loser in his past life, but it'll be different in his current life and he'll grow as strong as he can there before leaving. Chasha tried to explain that the demon realm will appear and will come. But the people interrupted her by asking if those insects earlier were their doing. When she tried to answer it again, people interrupted her once again by shouting they're gonna sue her, making Dajin furious and told them to shut up and called them stupid extras. The people look at him, but he just furiously asked them if they do not get what a special opportunity is it. Seo realizes that Gajin is the same as ever, but he's not wrong because being chosen to be there is a privilege. Chasha sighed and told them that she guessed it'd be quicker to show them what was going on outside and opened live footage of Seoul. She told them that all over the nation, another space called the Demon Realm has appeared, and monsters have been coming forth from it. The Fate Protection Agency predicted that it would occur, so a few years ago, they who had awakened their abilities before them all began preparing for that day. However, in a world of chaos, they need many more awakened. That's why they summoned them all there. Because they believe that they have potential out of all the non-awakened, and they'll help them awaken and grow stronger under the management of the Protection Agency. She pulled something in her suit while telling them that they can leave whenever they want. But they can decide after checking what their ability is first, and burned it while telling them that they might change their mind after all. His destiny window opened, showing his class, his flame attributes, and his current powers. But not only him, the other people saw their destiny windows too. He was certain that isn't Chash's power, and he wanted to check her destiny too, but her face is covered by a mask. After a minute, she told them that they should have all seen their abilities, and they can think of them as what they call supernatural abilities or magic. She told them that those who have awakened use those abilities to hunt monsters and raid the demon realm to get rid of threats. But it's a very dangerous job, and in the process, they may die. The people were surprised to hear it, but she continues saying it was the same for the training process. But if they want to avoid such danger and wish to be protected, they should forfeit their abilities, because a person without the will to fight does not need their abilities. She told them that she'll give them exactly 1 hour to consider, and they can rest on the second floor. Also, the manuals have been provided as well, so they should give it a read. After an hour, those who will stay can come back there, and those who will leave can do so through the third floor's exit. But as she said, once they leave, they won't be able to look at their destiny window ever again. Then she left to leave them. 1 hour later, she comes back telling them that she'll take it that those who are remaining there want to participate in the training, and pointing to the first gate. She explained that at most 3 people can enter at once, and if they have succeeded in the raid or come back out of the gate, they'll end up there again. Each room required a different method, which they can check once they're inside. The first room doesn't have a limit to how many times they can try, but if they leave before they succeed, they'll have to start all over again. She showed a small box and explained that it was an item box that will be provided to everyone, and they just need to pick one up before entering the supply center. If they're injured, they can use the healing items they have or come back to the lobby to be healed by the totem poles. She also told them that they did have them sign agreements that the Protection Agency will not be responsible in the case of death, but they plan on supporting them the best they can so that doesn't happen. She bowed and told them good luck, then vanished. After it, someone raised his hand and told everyone he's looking for someone to go with him, and his power is primary ghost grade. He looks at the man and starts to walk, realizing that it's like a day labor market. Sua stopped him and thanked him for saving her in the back of the building, making him surprised. She asked him if he don't have a party yet because she don't have either, and asked him if he want them to go together. When he didn't answer, she called his name, but he was stunned, wondering about Sua's stank words and remembering that everyone would have lived only if he had died, and because of him they all died. She asked him if he's unwell, and he replied that he's okay. Turned around and told her that he have to reject her invitation because he's more comfortable on his own. She awkwardly told him that she thought they did well together, but he told her that she'll do fine with someone else, and started to walk away, leaving her stunned. But she shouted at him that even if they can't hunt together, she'll be in his care, and he silently replied right. A few moments later, in the shop where they can get a box, he opened his and got a training sword, grade primary insectile, 2 HP recovery medicine, and 2 mana recovery medicine. He knows that it's hard to get items in the beginning, so it's not bad being a trainee, and HP recovery medicine is expensive, but they keep refilling it for them. Gaijin told him to wait and said he can't leave his one and only comrade behind, leaving him confused because it never happens in his past life, and decided to pretend that he didn't hear him. When he tried to walk away, Gaijin grabbed his shoulder to stop him, and he asked him what he wants. He told him that if things continue to develop like it, then he and himself will be the 2 main protagonists of its story, so they should go to the first room together. He shakes his head while saying that he's more comfortable going alone. But Gaijin told him not to worry because he's different from those supporting characters who weigh him down. He confidently told him that he was strong. He remembers that he would have treated him like an extra in his past life, and he thinks he's mistaken him for being strong. But he knows that it's a lot more comfortable having a strong comrade. Sua is strong, but he knows that if she stays with him she'll be unhappy, so he doesn't want her to stay by his side, and wonders what about Gaijin. He also wonders if it doesn't matter what happens to Gaijin. Gaijin notices his thinking and asks what he thinks and if he changes his mind. He agreed and tell him that they should go together. Gaijin runs toward the box while telling him to wait for him because he'll just go get his supply box. He grabs his supply box and said he wanted to talk to the mascot character too, but he shall talk to it later, while Sua was next to him, looking at him. He opens his box and asks her why is she looking at him like that, and asks if it because she's not a hero, but she just silently looks at him. Then he run away telling Seo that he got it, leaving Sua alone. When they opened the door, the interface told them that the presence of death can be felt and the presence of metal ghosts can be felt. When they entered, the interface told them that they had entered the knife mountain of hell. The interface explained that all rooms are connected to 4 hallways, and in each room and hallway there are demonic monsters, traps, and even safe zones, and told them to leave by finding the exit. He realized that the point of the raid is to find the exit, and wonders if the structure is the same as his past life. His thought was interrupted when he heard Gajan wondering what will come out. Suddenly, a sharp sword appeared in front of him. Fortunately, he pulled him in time to avoid it, but he was still excited that it was a classic one. This guy has really have a protagonist syndrome. He said that he liked those classical type things without realizing that Seo walked past him. He told them that they should go together. While they were walking, he told him that there aren't any traps, and he thought Seo is lucky, but Seo told him that he's unlucky. Then they stop when they hear something from a distance. Seo asked him if he divided the experience points, and he replied he did while reading the manual. They walked closer and saw a lot of skeleton ghosts, grade tertiary insectile, and it's a monster made of human bones. It craves human flesh, has a dull sense of hearing, and is sensitive to light. He grabs his sword while saying that the skeletons look stronger than insects, and since it's after the tutorial, they're a little stronger. He told him that there are a lot of monsters, but if they combine their strength. But before he can finish his words, Seo throw a fire toward the monsters and hit one of them. The skeletons run toward them, and they run towards them too, while he's explaining that the entrance is small, so if they gather there, they won't be able to get out properly. Gajan sarcastically asked him if he's an intelligent character, but he told him to go back if he was going to talk nonsense. He jumps to one of the skeletons, leaving it to Gajan, stabs the wall using his swords to maintain his balance, and kicks the skeleton's head off. Gajan runs past him while saying that he can't let him take the active role and slice the skeletons in front of him while Seo burning the other using his fire from a distance. Gajan happily attacked the skeletons while laughing, saying that it was fun. A few minutes later, they were done killing all the skeletons. Gajan told him that every room they were going to has demonic monsters, but it's slowly getting boring and he thinks they killed over 100. He looks at him and asks if he's tired, and he replied no, because they're just demonic monsters that aren't strong, and he learned how to fight with a sword just in case he went to another world or transmigrated into a book. He sighed speechlessly, but Gajan told him that when he first saw him, he was curious about something, and Seo asked what is it. He asked him if he was perhaps a regressor, a returnee, a reincarnation, or something along those lines, making him surprised. He was stunned for a few moments and told him that if he was going to talk nonsense, he should leave, but he just laughed and said he thinks is right. He pushes him while telling him that they should stop wasting time and get going. But Gajan told him that he's not joking and he knows that he's unique. He told him that he was strangely calm, adapt really quickly, and is not scared of the demonic monsters. He replied that when he was young, he often saw ghosts, so he was used to those kinds of things. Gajan smiled and said he's curious about his past too. When Gajan asked him to tell him what his past, he pushed him hard, and when he looked back he saw the ground Seo stepping collapsed. He called his name worriedly, but he just shouted for him to run. He ran fast to the end of the corner and turned around to look at the collapsing ground. He worriedly said Seo's name, but immediately changes his expression and turns around wondering if Seo is not the main character, then walks away saying he loves stories with regression plots that are kind of unfortunate. On the other hand, he was falling, he pulled his sword and stabbed it into the wall beside him. He used it to stop himself from slamming to the ground and managed to get down safely. The interface told him that he had entered a secret area and warned him that the monsters within secret areas are stronger than normal areas. It also told him that every path has a trap or a monster to face. The path to the normal area has been activated, and once he returned, the secret path will be sealed. It said that he may ask to be rescued and asked him if he would like to give up and return. Then show the counting down time request for the rescue, but he said that there was no way he would give up like that. He lifts up a fire, making the monsters notice him while guessing that he might be able to gain more stats than expected. He was grateful for being with Gajan and entering all the rooms with monsters, but he needed a chance to grow on his own. He released the fire and attacked one of the skeletons, but it blocked it using its shield. He swings his sword and uses his fire to hit the skeletons at the same time. Killing those monsters, his stats have increased by 10 points twice. A few minutes later, he has killed all the skeletons and his strength has increased to stage 5 after using his stat points. He looks at the dead skeletons, realizing that things are getting easier in the beginning as he raised his stats, and he can't believe that he managed to get his stats to that point. He opened his stats and saw that his strength is stage 5, stamina, agility, and sense are stage 4, and magic is stage 3. Looking at it, he wonders how strong they'll be. Regardless of the stats, everyone starts at stage 1. The difference between each stage is the amount of time and effort it takes to reach the next stage. Even if they gain the same amount of experience, their growth rate is much higher if their class is better. Divine class people like Gajan will grow stronger at a much faster pace. since he has been dragging him around. He'll probably be much stronger than before, but this time, he'll be the one to obtain the first clear bonus, and in order to do it, he'll need to finish things up by the end of the day. He looks at the area where a lot of blood and sharp weapons were and said that it was time to face the boss. He can tell that it's different there than the rest of the area in the place, and he felt like he's really in the Knife Mountain of Hell. He goes inside it while using his fire as a light to his path. He arrived at the end and saw the Marshal General of the Knife Mountain of Hell, and its grade is tertiary human. It's a monsters to be the master of the sword, and they move as if they are one. Unless defeated at the same time, they'll continue to be restored. He was hiding behind the stone near the monsters, knowing that those monsters are the Marshal General. And he knew that seeing them up close like it would be different. He bites his lips while he's stopping his body from shaking. He readies his sword, assuring himself that he can defeat them if he go according to plan, without knowing that one of them was looking at him. He saw it attacking him, but before it can hit him, he put the torch with fire in its face, making it shout in pain. He runs away, knowing that he managed to grab the monster's attention. He looked back and saw that its face still burning, and since they're a gold attribute, he knows that the fire attack is working well. He thinks he should be able to buy some time with it, but suddenly the other monsters cut off the other monster's head, making him surprised. He continues to run fast, knowing that unless the monsters are defeated at the same time, they'll continue to be restored. He knows that fighting head-on is meaningless, and he increased his agility to stage 7 using his stat points. While running, he got cut multiple times by the swords beside the area, but he didn't stop and was almost near his planned destination. Suddenly, he stepped on the bone in the ground and slipped from it. He falls to the ground, making the monster near to catch him. He used his fire to break the rope that holding the sharp blade and cut off the head of one of the monsters. He immediately stands up and continues to run while the younger monster is chasing him and the elder is being restored. He runs fast and thinks that it is perfect because he can hear the wind. He continues running while the monsters was chasing behind him. Then the monster who's chasing him died continuously. Later, the older monsters catch up to him and was shocked to see the room. He used the opportunity and increased his strength to stage 7 using his stat points. Then kicked the monster's feet and pushed the monster in its back. He shouted it to get in and killed it. The interface appeared, telling him that the tertiary human grade Marshal General has been defeated. He sits on the ground exhausted while gaining extra stat points for defeating an opponent stronger than him. He knows that all he needs to do is exit the boss room, and he has cleared the stage. But before that, there's one thing he'd like to confirm. He used his fire to light up the room and showed that the room is full of active sharp blades. He thought if it was the destiny of the monster to take on the form of a human. He wonders if he shouldn't be able to steal it and activate his destiny-stealing ability. It told him that currently there are 2 dead within the active range. He excitedly said he knew it, and if it was a human-like monster, he can steal its destiny. In his past life, the reason why he didn't use destiny-stealing before he met Baek Young wasn't because he didn't want to, but more so because he couldn't. The interface told him that his ability of destiny-stealing has been cancelled due to lack of mana, with a restriction that it costs more mana the longer the target's been dead, with his levels of magic that was considered insectile grade. Unless the target died right in front of him, he couldn't use his ability. That's when he had thought, shouldn't he be able to steal the destiny of human-like monsters? But since he wasn't able to withstand the energy emanating from the higher demonic realm, he never had a chance to try. He has stolen a portion of the target's strength and stole the ability Unsheath. Unsheath class is tertiary demonic grade, and that ability automatically activates when a sword is unsheathed. When a sword is used as a weapon, the user's swordsmanship is fixed tertiary demonic grade at minimum. He tried it and swings his swords multiple times. He felt that the sword is light. The interface warned him that he have gained a great amount of karma, but for him, it's okay compared to stealing it from people. He thinks the amount of karma he gains from stealing their destiny should be minimal, and on top of it, it should be worth the results. Humans that accumulate too much karma go beyond the border, and humans call that miserable, making him wonder how close he is to the border. He comes out of the room of the Knife Mountain of Hell and cleared it first. His achievement was announced to the other players, and they were shocked that he already cleared it. The others wonder if he cleared it by himself. Suddenly, someone called his name, and hearing its voice made him disgusted. Gaijin jumped to hug him excitedly, saying he knew he could do it. But he avoided it faster, telling him that he was not his ally, so he shouldn't trust him. Chasha called him from behind and congratulated him for being the first to clear the stage, then asked him if he has some time. A few moments later, in the training facility at Seo Gangram's private room, he opens the box and got the inventory bag that can be used to store objects, regardless of weight or volume. He realizes that the reward for clearing the first room was given by Chasha. He puts the bag in his waist while saying since it's a hard-to-obtain inventory item, he can't miss the chance to get it early. Then he opened his phone and put the Wi-Fi password that was given to him for another first clear bonus while saying he doesn't want to grab too much attention from the Fate Protection Agency. He saw the news saying that a 5.8 magnitude earthquake shook the country and it was the greatest recorded earthquake since 2017. He read all the comments about the Fate Protection Agency and saw a link. He clicked it and saw the first team leader of the Soul Protection Agency named Xiaomu Nyangyu. She announced that in order to protect all unawakened, the Protection Agency is doing their best. He tried to use his destiny detection ability to her, but the interface told him that her current destiny is being protected. He realizes that the agency was using items to protect their destiny. He closes his eyes while listening to Yang Yu telling people that although more events like it will continue to happen, there's no need to worry because they at the Fate Protection Agency will protect their future, and told the people to believe in the Fate Protection Agency. The Fate Protection Agency is a collection of only the best amongst the awakened, and all members of the agency are known to hide their faces with masks. Then he remembers Young taking off her mask and showing her face. He snapped, realizing that if Young is a member of the agency, it would make sense if nobody knew how strong she really was, but he can't tell yet. Meanwhile, in some office room, someone furiously slams the book on the table asking how are they handling things. The Fate Protection Agency Seoul second team leader named Gongju asked his people if didn't they say it would take at least a week for the stage to be cleared. But they cleared the secret area too. Still, they told him their destiny grade and ability are both tertiary insectile grade. He furiously called Ju Sungti and ordered him to take responsibility for it, write up a report, and clean up the trap that Seo Gangram used. Then he orders everyone else to prepare to clear the rest of the monsters. When he disperses the members, they immediately stand up, put on their masks, and come out, leaving Sungti alone in the room. He didn't expect that Seo would lure the monster into a trap and wonders what if he were to clear the second door in a day again, and what would happen if the higher officials knew the person clearing the stage was a mere insectile grade. The next day, in the first floor training area cafeteria, Dajin asked him if he was not going to the second room today and if he forget the bet that they had. Also, told him that if he don't even try it, he might clear the room before he have a chance. Seo replied that he'll go at his own pace, so he should do whatever he want, and since he was not his ally until you win, he asked him to leave. But he didn't agree and told him that he want to get closer to him. In the distance, he heard the girls thanking Sua. She disagreed and told them that it was all thanks to them blocking the attacks. He heard Sua's voice and turned to look at her, realizing that she was doing well. But Gajen told him that he hate characters that are too nice. He throws his chips at him, telling him to leave. Then he heard a man's voice telling that the girl's hand is really small and cute. He turned around furiously, thinking that the man was talking to Sua. But the man was talking to another girl. He knows that he'll have to suffer through it again. The man told the girls that he was good at reading palms, and the girl next to him agreed and said that he read hers last time and it was pretty accurate. While they enjoying their time, Sua was busy blowing her coffee. He told her to let him read his palm, but she politely told him she was fine. Still, he insisted to read her palm and tried to grab her hand. She pulled her hand off the table awkwardly. Suddenly someone put a hand on the table. She looked up confused and the man looked up furious, but his expression changed when he saw who it was and asked Seo if he wanted him to read his palm. But he got a firm no. He told her that he has something to talk about with her and asked her if they can have a moment. She was confused, but still agreed. They stood up and he told her that he wanted to speak with her in the empty lounge, to which she agreed. While they walking, two men called him from upstairs and thanked him for letting them use his Wi-Fi. After he attempted to clear the room of the Ninth Mountain of Hell by himself and shared the Wi-Fi, which was one of the rewards. Everyone seemed to be friendly toward him, but that type of friendliness was unfamiliar to him, since in his previous life, people had started to avoid and reject him at some point. In his past life, the man told the lady who he's talking to that he's not going if he was coming, and he replied that he'll just leave wondering if it was because his class is low, and walk away leaving people judging him from behind. Even in that situation, Chin Gunam treated him indifferently. Gunam asked him if he's going by himself again, and he replied yes. He told him that if there was room in the party, he would have joined and told him to be careful. Even though he knows Gunam ability, he could have never imagined it. He was walking in the corridor when he heard someone saying she nearly died when he went to the demon realm with Seo. Her friend asked him if something happened with Seo, and she replied that apparently, Seo ability is stealing abilities from the dead. Her friend asked her if she means Seo tried to steal her ability after killing her, and she replied yes, then told her friend to be careful too without knowing that he heard them talking about him. Hearing it, he was stunned in shock and immediately barged into the room and shouted to Gunam that he promised him not to tell anyone. But Gunam calmly told him that he had no idea what he's talking about. He furiously shouted to him that he exposed his ability, but he just turned around smiling, asking him if he have any proof that he did it. He was stunned by his reply even though he knows that it was him who told everyone about his ability. Gunam's ability is palm reading, class tertiary ghost grade, and he can compare his palm with the subjects in order to check their destiny window. He knows that is the one who did it because he's the only bastard who can know about his ability. He told Sua that since Gunam has such an ability, she should keep her distance and not ever show him her palm or touch his. She realized that it was the reason why Gunam kept trying to touch her palm. He explained that he just wanted to inform her of that and he'll leave. But she stopped him and told him that she cleared the room of the Knife Mountain of Hell last time as well, so she asked him if he wanted to go to the second room with her. He shook his head and told her that it was going to be difficult with her, making her ask him why would it be difficult with her, but he just replied that currently she lacked experience. She was stunned hearing it and told him that she didn't think she was all that weak. But he told her that her ability will be weakened in the next room since the next room has a fire attribute. The Kai of Gold will disrupt the destiny of Sua. He told her that the first room would have been incompatible with her since it had the attribute of gold, and he was sure she know what he was talking about. Realizing it, she thinks that the second room will definitely be disadvantageous for her. He asked her if he understood it, and she replied yes to some extent. Before he left, she touched his shoulder and called him to say something. He walks out of the lounge fast, wondering why that even after his rejections. She smiled and thanks him for his advice. In the lounge, Sue was left behind figuring out about Seo turning her proposal down but still went ahead with Gajin. So she figured he wanted to keep some distance between them. But he called her out to tell her about Gunam and he could have refused using a different excuse. So she wonders why he's so honest and if he worried about her. On the other hand, while he was walking someone called him and when he looks back he saw Gunam asking him if he was going to the second room with Sua. He put his hands inside his pockets and replied no, he'll go by himself. Then walk away knowing that he needs to eliminate bastard Gunam, so he will not drag him down. But before he can reach the top of the stair, he stops him and asks if he wants to form a party with him. He explained that it'll be convenient for him since his class is pretty high and told him that his dragon class. But he knows that it was a lie and asked him what about his ability while activating his destiny detection. Gunam replied that his ability is water bombs and he can make firearms with water. He also saw that his class is primary human grade and his attribute is water. He agreed and told him that they can leave right away. Gunam happily told him that he'll get ready and come down soon. Then immediately walk upstairs to get ready, leaving him relief that he approached him first. Later, the second training ground started and it was the room of the Hellfire. The interface showed them the clear conditions and it said that they need to find the ice crystal and return to the lobby. Also, it didn't have a time limit. They go inside the room and Gunam was amazed that the place really looks like hell. He told him that he was surprised that he accepted his proposal so easily and he guessed it was because of his water attribute. Then asked him if did he happen to see the clear conditions without knowing that he's silently pulling his swords from behind. He told him that it was so hot in there, but since he's with him, they'll find it soon without knowing that he's furious at him. He raised his swords from behind him, and when he looked back he was surprised. He activated his unsheath ability and killed it. Gunam was surprised to see a frog behind him getting slashed. He told him that he didn't expect to see a monster right at the beginning. But he just told him that they were coming, and when he looked down he gasped to see a swarm of frogs heading toward them. It was Fire Frog. Class is tertiary insectile grade and its monsters were born in the hottest of spring. Although their attacks are weak, they move in groups and they prey on creatures less warm than them. Gunam squeezed a bottle of water while saying that the frogs are a piece of cake. Then attacked the frogs using his water ability. The frogs that got hit were killed, making him happy because his powers work great there. He told him that it'll be easy as long as they find the crystal and he replied that it just might be. But he already knows where it is. Still, they were in no hurry, so he just wonders what should he do with Gunam who's excited behind him. He notices that Seo was smiling and happily wonders if he's thinking that it was a good choice to come there with him. A moment later, they killed a lot of frogs, but his head was in pain, so he wondered if it was what they call mana anemia and realized that there are way too many monsters compared to the room of the Knife Mountain of Hell. So he'll have no choice and he'll have to fight with a sword like Seo. He covered his face and stabbed the frog, but he didn't hit it. It swells up, which made him thrown away, and it jumps on top of him. He shouted that it was so hot and called Seo for help. But he just sighed, making him ask him why is he just standing there watching him. He stabs away the frog that is on top of him while telling him to go back if he can't keep up and telling him that he can clear it on his own. He replied that he'll be fine if he just rests for a bit, to which he agreed while walking away. He got furious thinking Seo is an arrogant bastard who thinks he was all great just because he was the first to clear the raid. He stands up knowing that he partied up with him to see what class and ability he had. But he can't check because his hands are bandaged, and even if he tries to assume from his abilities, he knows he's hiding something and he'll have to check it, and there must be a time when he lets his guard down and he'll aim for that timing. He sat down on something that he thought was a rock to rest, but it moves, making him surprised. He falls to the ground hard, then the monsters attack him, making him call Seo in panic. Fortunately, Seo sliced the monster in half before he got hit. He fearfully realizes that there were monsters other than those frogs there, and he let his guard down. Seo called him, to which he immediately responds and told him that he have saved him twice. Then stabbed the monsters while saying it was annoying to kill, so they should move on before any more come. He smiled and responded all right, but he furiously wondered if he boasted that he helped him a bit. He clenched his fist while thinking that Seo was not even that great, and that once his mana recovered, he can take him on easily. He looks back and asks him if he does have something to say. He just smiles awkwardly, thanking Seo for helping him. Later, they saw something shiny in the distance, and he pointed it, asking if isn't there something there. He was shocked to see it, but Gunam was more ecstatic, asking him if it was the ice crystal. He looked at it carefully and happily said that it was really it, knowing that they just need to take it back to the lobby to clear the room. He also wonders if there is only one of them, and if that is so, he guesses he'll be the first ones to clear, and thinks that the people back at the training center will think he beat it because of Seo. Seo tried to explain what it was, but he immediately ran toward it, knowing that if there was only one ice crystal, then the first person to take it is the first person to clear the room. He excitedly runs toward it while imagining the rewards, the honor, and the respect and looks of admiration. He was close to grabbing it while shouting that it will be all his, and he's the first one to clear the room. But when he finally grabbed it, it's squishy. He was surprised without knowing that it was the fire frog's egg sac. Class is tertiary insectile grade, and it's a sac containing countless fire frog eggs. Also, there are always fire frogs nearby it. The frogs come out of the lava and jump toward him. He got dragged down to the lava and called Seo name for help. But he just stands still and told him that it was karma for trying to stab him in the back, then walk away, leaving him cursing and getting dragged down in the lava by the frogs. Later, he arrived inside the room of the Hellfire Crystal Cave while holding some dead frogs. He grabs the ice crystal. Class is tertiary ghostly grade, and it's a crystal made of ice. Also, the water attribute will be increased when possessed. He sat down and opened his shop window. The condition for opening the shop is obtaining a spirit pearl. Originally, he wouldn't know about the existence of the shop or spirit pearls, but at that time, he was able to open the shop because he took some spirit pearls before coming. He purchased an item named a prayer chest. He had to trade in his accomplishment stats because he didn't have enough money. Prayer chest. Class is primary ghostly grade, and if they put in an item and pray, they'll receive an item of their wishes. But if the offering is not enough, they'll receive nothing. He opens it and put the ice crystal inside while saying it had a funny name, and in the end, they just want them to put a precious and expensive item in there. He prayed knowing that the ice crystal is a tertiary ghostly grade item. What he wants is a primary ghostly grade item. Also, he knew that there was a bit of difference, but it's possible since they're both ghostly grades. He opened it and it released a shiny light. He was shocked to see that he obtained a tertiary insectile grade named Insect Honey. He slashes many ice crystals around him and puts them beside him while putting them one by one inside the prayer chest. He said that if he can't get quality, he'll get quantity, and he has so many, so there's no way he won't get it. On the other hand, Gunam furiously curses Seo. He shakingly walks, while saying Seo thinks he'll be fine after leaving him all alone like that. But once he finds him, he swears to stab his arrogant little face with his sword. While he was cursing Seo, he saw something smoking from a distance. He was surprised knowing that it was the true ice crystal. The door opens and he comes out of it, clearing it. He was ecstatic that he was the first to clear it. The others were surprised that he finished it only in one day. He was happy to see that he got the reaction he was looking forward to. With it, he thinks is better than Seo. He saw him from a distance unwrapping his bandages. He walks toward him, making Seo surprised, and asks him how could he just run away on his own and that he was looking for him for so long. He tried to explain, but Chasha called Gunam, saying he's the first one to clear the room of hellfire. He happily waved and replied that he's there. Then he gives his hand at him, saying he'll forgive him just once and they should shake hands as a symbol of reconciliation. He hesitantly looks at his hand and slowly approaches it to shake hand without knowing that Gunam activated his palm reading ability. They shake hands and Gunam told him not to be too scared while he's reading Seo Destiny. Then Gunam walked away, realizing that he felt better that he was the first to clear the room and saw Seo looking so pathetic. Then he saw that Seo's class is tertiary insectile, attribute is flame, ability is flame manipulation tertiary insectile grade, and unsheathed primary humanly grade. He looks back surprised that he's tertiary insectile grade because he thought he'd be at least humanly grade. Then he furiously thinks he went through all it just because of an insectile grade. He looks at him afraid but then smiles teasingly. He was glad that he got it just in time, and it was the Destiny Protection Charm. Class is primary ghostly grade, and it protects part of the destiny in the destiny window so that others cannot read it. He couldn't prepare many because he didn't have many ice crystals left after getting the charm. But it seems like Gunam found one of the ice crystals he put into a fire frog. Gunam told Chasha that he's a water type, and Chasha asks him, if he can tell her about how he found the ice crystals while behind them was Gajun, who was looking from the side and realized that even Seo came back a mess, but he wonders how he cleared it in one day. After Chasha has done interviewing Gunam, Gajun called him, and when he looked back he told him that he was amazing. Gunam thinks Gajun was a tertiary divine grade. He disappointedly told him that he had been trying the room since a few days ago, but he kept failing, and thinks that Seo seems to be weaker than he thought. He agreed and told him that Seo is a tertiary insectile grade, that's why he's weak, and he ran off on his own just because of a crowd of monsters. He looked up at him and told him that he's more like the main character than him, making Gunam proud of himself, and told him that he guessed he is not wrong. Seeing the two talking, he smiled and saw that Doc Gajun and Chinguna's fates are intertwining. He knows that Gajun will stop paying attention to him for now. The interface showed him that the two men's destiny combination is worst and evil energy is creeping into Gunam's destiny. But he didn't care because Gajun will take care of Gunam for him too, and things are going better than he expected. Meanwhile, in Seoul Team 2, they have an emergency meeting. Ju asked Chasha if Gunam is about ghostly grade, and she replied he's humanly grade while shaking her head. Ju asked her if someone go with Gunam, and she replied trainee Seo Gangram, making Sunti shocked. Ju feels something off because Seo went with him, but Gunam was the only one to clear it. She agreed and told him that trainee Gunam said something strange. He told her that he was killing fire frogs and found that one of them has swallowed an ice crystal. But he told her that the monsters shouldn't be able to approach the crystal cave because they have set up a barrier. She replied that she checked earlier and saw that the barrier was down and the monsters did eat all of the ice crystals. Hearing it, he shook in anger and shouted to Sunti, asking him how the hell did he do such a bad job, and he fearfully replied that he checked multiple times, but there were definitely no problems. He also told him that the fact that the clearing was done faster than expected just means that they have more capable trainees. He slams his hand on the table and seriously asks him if he can take responsibility for his statements. If he can say that his plan had no fault at all, and that since he has so many capable trainees, they can move on to the third room. Also, he asks him if he takes responsibility if they all end up dying. But Sunti was just silent. Ju explained that from the third gate onwards is the real demon realm, and they'll all be killed if they go in there without the proper preparations. So they need to make them much better than they are right now, and he told them to watch Seo more closely. On the other hand, he didn't anticipate that their third room training will be delayed. The Fate Protection Agency Seoul Team 2 announced that they'll be delaying the opening date of the third gate indefinitely, and a notification will be posted as soon as more details are decided. A few days later, he was in the canteen when he heard someone asking his friend if he was sure the raid method Gunam told is right, and what if he lied to them. He replied no way and asked how would he benefit from it. But his friend still said it was strange because all the other people that cleared the room are people who aren't close to Gunam. He was confused at first but remembers Suat coming out at second, Gajun in 8th, and Seo in 13th, then figured out that his friend was right because Gajun and Gunam cleared it long after him even though they had been in the same parties before. His friend told him that those two don't work together anymore. The other guy yawned and asked him if they should just explore instead, without knowing that Seo heard them. Hearing it, he guessed Gunam went around spreading false information and he was already abandoned by Gajun. Suddenly, the interface appeared and showed a summons notification. Chasha told everyone to meet at the hall at 18 today, and he knows that it's about time. Later at 18, when they are all in the hall, Chasha greeted them. She explained that she have called them all there today to inform them about the third gate. She raised her hand and burned the talisman and the ropes that blocked the third gate while telling everyone that they'll be permitting the entry of the third gate, making everyone amazed and excited. She explained that from the third gate onwards, they'll be entering the true demon realm, and instead of just the training grounds the protection agency has prepared. Therefore, from now on, everyone will be moving together. She warned them that the true demon realm environment is much more severe, and they'll be coming across a stronger and greater variety of monsters. The gods will watch on as they raid the demon realm, and when they hear a god's voice, she tells them not to immediately reply and check the newly updated manual first. The people check it and were surprised that the manual really changed. She told them that they have added various ways to respond to different situations in the demon realm, and they recommend that they give it a read before going in. She told them that that's all the advice she can give and worriedly begged everyone not to die. Hearing it, the people were stunned and fearfully asked if she just tells them not to die. Seo was thinking hard when someone appeared behind him. She shouted hello to him and he looked back and called her name Bong. She awkwardly asks if he can tell them apart, and her twin sister told him that the other people always get them confused. In his thought, how could he forget them when they and Shin Sua were the only ones to talk to him when Gunam went around spreading rumors about him in his past life. Plus, even if they're twins, their destinies are different. Yunbom, class is primary draconic grade. Her attribute is gold. Her ability is perfect marksmanship. Class is primary ghostly grade, and when using long-range weapons or abilities, she'll hit his target no matter what. But the amount of mana consumed will differ depending on the target's class and distance. Yoon Jae-il, her class and attribute are the same as her sister, but her ability is one-shot perfect hit. Class primary ghostly grade and with the same description as her sister. He worriedly guesses things won't change. In his past life, Bomb survived, but Jae-il died in the third room, and the interface warned him that he feel the spirit of death by White Tiger from Yoon Jae-il. There will be a life-threatening in the coming few days. While the twins were teasing each other, he asked Jae-il if she want to go to the third room with him. She agreed and said she didn't want to go hunting with her sister, making Bomb shocked. But he told them that Bomb can come too, promising that he'll make sure the twins survive this time together. Later, their third training room began, and it was a room of ice. Their condition to clear the room is to hunt more than one of each type of monster in the Ice Valley. They need 10 types of monsters, and their time limit is 14 days. He entered the room first, and the interface warned him that the current demon realm is haunted by water energy. The water energy overcomes his destiny, and his stats are being decreased by 10%. Then the twin entered the room too. Bomb realized that monster hunting must be the assignment of the raid, while Jae-il can't see anything because of the strong wind. Bomb told her sister to look at the rabbit in the side, and Jae-il was ecstatic because it was so cute. When the rabbit saw them, it suddenly changed and attacked them, but ended up dead. It was Eyehorn Rabbit, class is primary insectile grade. Then they sit on the broken tree while looking at the window shop. Bomb said the shop is so mean, and Jae-il told them that there are so many items, but there isn't a search feature. Bomb asked him how did he find things so easily, and thinks it was because he used them for years. But he can't say it, and just replied that it was similar to a game he used to play. Jae-il told him to look at her weapons too, and said that she is thinking of buying a bow and arrow. A moment later, the twin was happily fully equipped. Then they proceed to kill monsters. After he killed the monsters, he looked back and saw the twin arguing about how many they have killed. Yoon Bomb was a shooter, and Yoon Jae-il was an archer for the national teams. The hunting efficiency really went up since they're using weapons they're used to. In his past life, Bomb became the highest class sniper, and he knows Yoon Jae-il would have achieved just as much had she stayed alive, or they might be been better if they stay together. In his past life, Bomb became a whole different person after Jae-il's death. She never smiled again after that, and as if to avenge Jae-il's death, Bomb focused on monster hunting. After that, Yoon Bomb quickly grew stronger and was scouted into Sura sect, one of the 5 great sects, but she was never happy. He knows that the twin has good destinies and they can become really strong, so he'll have to make sure Jae-il lives for Bomb's sake, and he'll help them get into the Flying Tiger sect. Then the Flying Tiger sect members that were killed by Bomb, who was Sura sect sniper, would stay alive. He looks at them, telling himself that he'll make sure to keep his eyes on Jae-il, but he was shocked to realize that Jae-il was missing, so he panics and wondered where did she go. They run while shouting Jae-il's name, but he was more panicked than Bomb. Bomb worriedly searches and asks how far did she go just to go to the bathroom. Seo finds something and told her that he heard screams from the distance. She told him that she didn't hear anything, but he told her that is certain. They go where the scream coming from, and they heard Jae-il shouting underground, telling them that she was there. She's with someone while she's explaining that the ground suddenly collapsed. Bomb assured her that they'll get her back up. Then he immediately slid down asking Jae-il if she was okay, and she replied she was okay, but the person next to her is not. He looks at the person and realizes that it was Chen Dunam. Dunam angrily thinks why it has to be Seo. He sighed and asked him if he want help, but he replied he don't need help from someone like him. He immediately agreed and told Jae-il that they should go, making her ask him if they are just gonna go. He lifted her up to Bomb while she was explaining that Gunam said his legs are paralyzed from a dangerous monster's attack. He told her that it must have been the rabbits and it'll go away on its own. Jae-il asks why he's in pain when the rabbits are the weakest ones there. Bomb told Jae-il that she was not supposed to say that, but hearing it, Gunam was ashamed and blamed it on Seo. He hits his hand furiously on the ground while saying Seo needs to taste shame. Suddenly, someone said he was right and bad guys should pay for what they've done, making him surprised. It asks him if he wants help. He looks up confused and asks who is he. On the other hand, he told the twin that they should go back because the difficulty will increase once it gets dark. Jae-il told him that she raised her stats to get stronger, and Bomb told him that she have collected quite a bit of accomplishment stats too. But he told the twins that there was no rush because it is only the first day. Bomb asks him if he's coming with them the next day too, and he replied yes. Then told them that they should stay together until they clear the room, making the twin happy. Suddenly, he heard someone screaming from a distance, and he was shocked to realize who it was. He told the twins to get back to the lobby first, making them ask him what about him. He run while explaining that he forgot something and he'll be back soon. The scene shifts to a few people were surrounded by a lot of monsters. The monsters were drooling while looking at them. Sua told everyone to calm down, and she looked back when she heard her team being attacked. She activates this tree leaf method and attacked the monsters while telling everyone to get behind her. The monster in front of her attacked her. Fortunately, she blocks it using her sword and swing it away while she was using her tree leaf method to protect everyone behind her. She looked back to attack the monster from behind her, knowing that she'll have to kill as many as she can, so it's easier later on without realizing that the monster was behind her. It bite her in the shoulder and she'll look back in pain, hoping that she had one more person who could fight. Seo arrives and he invests his accomplishment stats into ability flame manipulation and leveled up it to secondary insectile grade. He stabs the monster who's biting Sua, then attacks the monster beside her and goes to the next monster in front of him. He hits the monsters which send it flying and kills the other monster, while Sua killing a few behind him. After they finished killing all the monsters, Sua was relieved and thanked him, but he was just silent. Later, in the lobby, he furiously asks her why didn't she run away, making her team ashamed and silent. He told her that she should have known that the situation was disadvantageous to her. She should run if she can't win, and she is capable enough to run away without being injured. She tried to explain, but he told her that she's just lucky that time. He remembered their past while telling her what if the monsters had some hidden ability she didn't know, and what if no one come to help. He thought a pointless death like that should not happen again. He furiously asks her if she intends on dying in order to protect others, and told her that helping others is something only strong people can do. Then turned around to walk away, telling her not to forget it, and that if she let her guard down, she'll only be leaving there as a corpse. The girls told her that Seo was a bit harsh and wondered if he's saying that she should have just let them all die. But she just smiles and told the girls that Seo is just worried about her, and he still came to help. She wondered why Seo keeps playing the bad guy, but still, she told the girls that Seo is actually a very affectionate person. She called Seo, making him stop walking. Then she thanked him for worrying about her. He just sighed and replied whatever without looking back. Later, the interface announced that the third gate room of ice first was cleared by Doc Gajan. He also killed 10 monsters type and cleared the room of ice too. Bomb told them that someone already cleared the room, and he told them that he cleared it too, making Jael surprised and asks him if he'll leave, but he replied that he'll stay with them until they are done too. The twins were happy hearing it. He knows that no one will come back in there once it's been cleared, so he can just come back, and then what he wants is the hidden clear reward they'll get when they hunt 11 types of monsters. The twins were teasing each other when he looked back and is a bit worried that the rating was done a bit quicker than in his past life. He activates his ability Destiny Detection, and it showed him that the energy of death by White Tiger is near, making him wonder if there is someone else other than Yoon Jae-al who's gonna die. Then he remembers that the evil energy is creeping into Gunam's destiny, and he realizes that it'll be a problem if he gets involved with him again, so he wonders if he should just kill him now. He told the twins that he was going to look around in that hill a bit and they should keep hunting. He also told them to stay together there instead of straying off, to which the twins agreed. He walks away, assuming that there won't be a problem as long as the twins are together. Suddenly, Gunam appeared and told him that he was looking for him. He asked him why, and he replied that he thought that he'd pay him back for the shame he gave him last time. He teasingly asks him if he's capable of it, even though he feels something off about him. Gunam confidently replied of course, and tell him that he is the main character that can hear the voice of a god while gathering an ice in his hand. He told him to prepare himself and attack him using a sharp icicle of ice, while telling him that it was the power of a god. He remembers Chasha telling them that the gods will watch on as they raid the demon realm, and told him that God has possessed him. He activates his Destiny Detection and saw that the god's name is Little Guest of the Plague. Gunam replied that is the main character, so, of course, he was picked by a god. Those who are partnered with a god are called shamans and earn strong powers upon possession. He thinks even though Gunam is possessed by a god, he was glad that it's a low-class god. He also saw that Gunam's mana increased a bit and he's gained a new ability named Smallpox. Class is primary humanly grade, and it borrows the power of a god to infect the opponent with smallpox. When hit by an attack while the ability is activated, the area that's struck will be infected with the disease. He was annoyed by his new ability because he knows that he'll be infected with smallpox if it touches him. He cut the tree to make it burn, knowing that he better decrease his mana first. Then he runs away, continuously burning the trees in his way while Gunam is attacking and chasing after him, telling him that there's no use in running. A moment later, while he's still running and Gunam was chasing him, Gunam tries to attack him, but he immediately stopped when the boar monsters run between them. He killed the boars who were in the way using his sharp icicle of ice while telling Seo to stop running. While he furiously chased him, he shouted for the boars to move. But a big boar appeared and furiously attacked him using its horn. He coughs a lot of blood because of the hit and falls to the ground while it runs away. Suddenly, the god said he came to watch because he heard there was a human possessed by a god. But he was not even strong and told him that it was fitting for a low-class god. He realizes that the god who is currently watching him is not Cheolwyn and wonders if other gods watching him too. The god said it's still amusing to watch a weak human. He asks the god if is it amusing to him. Suddenly, then he got stabbed from behind by Seo. The god who's watching disappointedly said he lost while he was begging Xiaowen to help him. He pulled his sword and asks him if he's finished with his revenge. Then Xiao pointed his sword near his face while he's telling him that he had been lurking around him for a while. And he must have done because he knew what the risk was. Suddenly, Bomb comes running toward them calling him. He stabs the snow telling Gunom that he's lucky, but next time, he'll kill him for real and order him to get himself together. He run to meet Bomb in the center telling her that he told them to stay there while Gunom was walking away in another direction. But Bomb told him that there was a problem. She worriedly told him that a herd of snow pigs came running and swept away Jael, making him stunned, and remembers the man told him that his destiny is unfortunate and full of evil energy. A lot of people come back injured when they're in the same as Seo. Even his parents are dead, and everywhere he goes someone dies. Bomb called him multiple times asking him if he was okay, but he thinks it was because of him. He pushed Bomb aside and told her that he'll find her, then walk fast while Bomb tells him to wait for her. He told her to go back, but she grabbed his arms and told him that she was coming too. He furiously told her she can't because if something happens to her too. But Bomb told him that he said before not to go around alone, and asked him how can she go back alone when Jael might be in danger. He told her that he's going to send her back if it gets dark or he thinks it was dangerous. But she didn't respond, making him ask her why she isn't replying, so she agreed. Later, they arrived somewhere. He doesn't know how Jael died in his past life, but if she's currently in danger, then they are in the right place and begged Jael not to be dead. Bomb told him that there aren't any monsters in the place, and he knows that it was because low-class monsters wouldn't dare to set foot in a predator's territory. Suddenly, they heard a loud sound and he immediately pulled Bomb to hide. He signed her to be quiet while a big monster walking behind them. It was Yeti, class as tertiary ghostly grade, and it's a human-like monster covered in fur all over. It only appears in front of humans on snowy days, and it wants to fight any opponent stronger than itself. He looked at it and was shocked to see Jael in its hand. Bomb immediately come out and furiously pointed a gun at it. The Yeti turned in their direction and searched around it because it thinks it heard someone. Fortunately, he grabbed Bomb in time. He whispered to her to wait and activated his destiny stealing. It showed him that there are 0 deaths in the area, making him relieved, and told Bomb that they'll be putting Jael in further danger if they fight. He let go of her and looks at the Yeti, then tells her that he thinks it's moving Jael to its nest and noticed that there are snow pigs on the other side. They go to the top of the cliff and he told her that they need to wait for it to place down Jael first. She asks him if they attack once it has put Jael down, and he replied no, explaining that they better avoid fighting it. They watch while the Yeti was walking to its nest holding Jael. He threw a flare gun at Bomb and told her that once it placed Jael down, she should shoot the gun to lure it and then run all the way to the entrance. He also told her not to fight and just run, then asked her if she can do it, and she replied yes. He told her that he'll take Jael while she was luring it. Then he immediately slides down, knowing that with Bomb's dexterity, she should be able to run away from a Yeti easily enough. When Bomb saw that the Yeti put down her sister, she fired the flare gun into the air and get the Yeti's attention. It blocks its eyes from the light and immediately runs toward her, leaving Jael in its nest. When it was chasing Bomb, he immediately ran toward Jael. He tried to wake her up, but he noticed that she was not conscious. But currently, he can't give her any medicine, so he lifts her up knowing that he'll have to take her to the lobby. But before he can run away, he stops to see another Yeti holding prey in front of him. On the other hand, Bomb was running and shooting the flare gun in the air while the Yeti is chasing after her. Suddenly, it stopped and turned around, making her confused why. She shoot a lot in the air while asking it where is it going and told it that it should be chasing her. But it didn't look back, making her furious, and shouted for it to come back. On the other hand, the Yeti growls in anger and grabs its prey on its shoulder, then throw it away to attack him while he's holding Jael behind him. But he knew that he had no luck in his destiny. He put his fire in his feet and slid to the Yeti that tried to step on them. He successfully avoided it, but he was shocked to see the other Yeti running toward them. The 2 monsters surrounded him and ready to attack him. Fortunately, he slid into the open space in time and avoided being squeezed by 2 monsters. Then he jumps toward the nest and burned the nest while he's slowly putting Jael down, realizing that he was going to hunt anyway. When he has put down Jael in the center of the nest, he stands up and faces the monsters while telling Jael to hold on a little longer. He told her that he'll kill the monsters before they leave. The monsters run toward him furiously, and one of them stamps its feet on the ice, making it crack. He notices it and smiles, realizing that his plan might work. He runs toward the Yeti who was waiting for him, and the other was running toward him. He increases his agility to level 18 and slide around, avoiding all the attacks of the monsters, making the ground break by it. Then he turned around to face the monsters. One of them attacks him, but he jumps in time to avoid it. Then he landed on its arm and jumps again towards it. He landed on its shoulder while the other monster was about to attack him. He jumps again, avoiding its attack. The other monster goes to the top of the other monster to grab him in the air, but the blue monster felt something. Then suddenly, the ice cracks, and the ground collapsed and one of the monsters fall and died while the other is hanging to its dear life. The interface congratulate him that he defeats the tertiary demonic grade Yeti. He knows that in the demon realm, there are a lot of terrains that only consist of snow and ice, and they tend to collapse easily like the area Jael fell into. He also knew that the other bastard won't be able to climb back up either, but suddenly it hit the ground making him fall too. While he's falling, he can't believe that the Yeti was smart to know how to drag him too, but fortunately, the roots catch him in time. He looked up and saw Sua standing at the top looking at him. She told him that if he let his guard down, he'll be leaving the training facility as a dead man, and she's glad that she's not too late. He smiled awkwardly and thanked her, but she told him to tell it to Bomb, who came to find her. She told him to hold on tight because she'll pull him up. But he told her to put him down first because there was something he needed to check. A few moments later, he come out of the hole and saw Bomb panicking, calling Jael's name. He immediately runs toward the twin, wondering if they are too late and if they're not able to fight the destinies they have been born into. Suddenly, Jael made a sound that lit up Sua's expression. She shakingly said it was cold and asked her sister to turn the heater back on. She sits up in pain, asking them where are they. Bomb was ecstatic that Jael was alive, but he just stands still stunned while the interface tells him that the death by white tiger aura dissipates from Jael. He happily runs toward them while the interface tells him that a set destiny has changed, and he stopped when he saw that the destiny change has been activated. The destiny class of Seo Gangram has been upgraded to secondary insectile grade from tertiary insectile grade, and his power classes changes too. His destiny detection class is tertiary draconic grade. His destiny stealing class is primary draconic grade. His flame manipulation class is secondary insectile grade, and his unsheath class is tertiary demonic grade. He can't believe it because he thought they could never change their destiny's class. Bomb hugged him and thanks him because Jael is alive because of him. She shyly thanks him and wipes her tears. On the other hand, Sua gives medicine to Jael and asks how is she feeling. She replied that it hurt less but the medicine is too bitter. He patted Bomb's head and decided to think about the complicated stuff later because currently, the important thing is that Jael is alive. Meanwhile, somewhere in the ice room, Gunam was walking. Chial and the god who possessed him asked him if he is alright. What should he do, and told him to hold on a minute because he'll try something. But he cursed him, asking how is he a god, and told him that he shouldn't have taken on a god who would give him a goddamn disease. Chialwan told him that he's crossing the line and got dragged down to the ground. He called Chialwan young master and asked for its forgiveness. While half of his body was underground, he turned around because a shadow appeared and he saw Gajan behind him. He asks him to help him and explained that Seo attacked him, so he was fleeing and he is sure that Seo Bastard is the named villain. So he told him to stop about the awakening event of the loser who's hiding his real power or whatever, and they should defeat Seo together as he said they are comrades. Gajan told him that if he is the main character, he should be able to overcome it with ease, but he lost to the likes of Seo. He tried to make an excuse, but Gajan told him that he thought he wasn't able to reveal his true powers because he was with him, but he guesses he just isn't the main character. He promised him is the main character, so he should help him. But Gajan told him that if he's the main character, he should be able to get out on his own, making him surprised. He admits that he's not the main character and begs him to help him. But he furiously told him that if he's not the main character, then why should he bother to help an extra? He begs him not to leave and help him, but Gajan just walks away, leaving him stuck in the hole. Meanwhile, he was killing goblins around him continuously, even though it was too many for him. He successfully defeated all of them. One of the twins called him and proudly told him that she did it all, but her sister angrily tell her that she is only supporting from the back. While the twins were arguing, he just watched and smiled at them, but his calm expression changed when he saw Young attacking the twins. Jael asks her who the hell is she, but she just says Seo Gangram's name and told them that if they give Seo to her, she'll let the rest live. The twin angrily pointed their weapon at her, asking her what the hell is she talking about while he ran towards the twins to stop them. He called Bomb and Jael names, but monsters appeared behind him grabbing him, and when he looked back a big monster hand grabbed his face and dragged him down. While he's trying to get out of the monsters who are dragging him, the twins were killed by Young in front of him. The twins ask him why he has to be in their lives and told him that they would have lived if it worked for him. The monsters grab him while the twin asks him why didn't he save them and told that they shouldn't have taken them into the Flying Tiger sect. Suddenly, someone from behind him told him not to forget and Sua told him that he killed them. He comforts himself that it's just a dream, that future won't come and he won't let it repeat itself. But he wonders if it was a warning that it's gotten too close. He remembers the interface told him that the twins think he is a savior, so the fate of him and the twins are beginning to intertwine. He stand up and decided to distance himself from them. Later, Jael opened his door asking him if he hates them. He tried to close the door and told her that currently he just have things to do, but Bomb told him that Sua coming too. He notices the twins have gotten close to Sua, which means he won't have to worry about them. He told them that it was good because Sua seems like a nice person. Jael told him that he have to come too, and he replied next time. Then he closes the door. Jael asked if Seo hasn't been distancing himself from them since that day, and Baum replied that Seo must have a reason. The twins come down the stairs making an X sign to Sua to say that Seo didn't agree. Sua slowly opened the gate telling the twins that they can't do anything about it, and that they should just go to the fourth room on their own. They enter the fourth room of the Sword Forest, and their condition to clear it is to hunt monsters and collect spirit pearls in the knife-sharp forest maze. They need to collect 1,000 spirit pearls. The twins were ecstatic that their fourth training is in the forest, and the air is so refreshing there. Sua positioned herself and told the twins to be careful because something was coming, making Baum ask her if it was a monster and where it was coming from. The wind blows the leaves toward them and hits Sua. She got cut by it and realizes that it's not a monster, but she thinks the forest itself is dangerous in that room. The interface told them that the room of the Sword Forest is a demon realm of an endless forest, and there's no change in terrain. Once they reach the end, they'll end up back at the other end. Baum said 1,000 spirits pearls gonna take a while, and Sua told the twins that they should look around first. Baum told Jael that they should stick together that time instead of straying off, and Jael responded that she's not a kid. But Baum told her that Seo said that they should stick together. Jael said it would have been nice if Seo came too, to which Baum agreed. Sua heard them and guessed that Seo was nice to the twins. She knows that Seo does have a way with words, but she is sure that he's a kind person on the inside without noticing the twins behind her. She immediately looked back when she heard Jael saying that there was something there. She immediately runs while stopping Jael, and when she looked down, blood splashes out everywhere. Meanwhile, in his room, he tried to touch something. It opened its mouth, making him said it was more atrocious than he heard. It's an unknown egg, and its class will be decided after hatching. It will hatch after a certain duration of holding. Its appearance will change based on what is fed, and it's still unknown what will hatch. The unknown egg is what he received as a reward for killing the Yeti as his 11th type of monster. What it hatches depends on what he feeds it. He already knows what he wants to hatch, so he closes its mouth for a moment because he can't feed it just anything. But it's not the only thing he earned. When he defeated a tertiary ghostly grade Yeti, he activated his destiny stealing ability. Then he steals the water attribute while looking at his flame attribute. He orders it to change his attribute to water. It told him that water wins over fire had been unlocked. His decreased stats have been returned to normal, and he successfully changed his attribute to water. He couldn't even buy a proper weapon in the room of ice because he had to continuously buy water attribute tolerant food. So he decided that he'll buy weapons in the next demon realm, and he'll switch to his flame attribute again. Later, he entered the room of the Sword Forest, and he heard a god saying the room of ice was boring and wondered if maybe their current room is better. Another god responded that it was probably not because they're still all noobs, but it responded that there's fun in watching noobs grow without realizing that he can hear them. He wonders how low-class gods are they for them to talk like that, and open is no communication setting. One of the god thinks Seo notices that they are there. The interface asks him if he will undo the connection, while the gods realize that he's not even surprised that they were there. When he clicked yes, the interface told him that he don't have enough spiritual power. One of the gods said he got guts and he like it. Then the other god asked him if he want to be possessed. The interface told him that the guardian of the Sword Forest has offered a possession, and he realizes that it must be the territorial god of the Sword Forest demon realm. But he just opens his shop window. Territorial gods are gods that rule over a certain region. With the territorial god's possession, they can become stronger than anyone in that god's demon realm. But the god is tied to that region, so once they leave that place, it is useless. He knows that his current room has been nicknamed Maze of the Sword Forest, and he will not have to worry about getting lost if he accepts the possession. But he purchased the item named Demon Realm Map and opened it, saying that it was all he need to find his way. Only the general outline is given to him, but the more he moves around there, the more places will be marked on the map. The interface told him that there are multiple entrances to the demon realm, making him wonders if he was approaching the fourth area. The protection agency's trainees are divided into various areas, but in the later rooms where people start dying, the raid is carried out with trainees from other areas. The interface told him that the marked entrance has been changed to the Area 2 entrance. The god asks him if he's looking for something and told him that he can find it for him if he accepts his possession. But he thinks the god's probably controlling the number of people going into the demon realm to set them against each other. The god asked him if he can't hear him. He replied that he is not going to accept it and told the god to give it up. Suddenly, the interface told him that the Master of All Flames has used the item Traces of Gods, and emphasis messages will be activated for 10 minutes. He was stunned and surprised to see the Master of All Flames recommending him to accept him and ask him if he'll accept the possession. The interface told him that the Master of All Flames says that the other gods who are currently connected are nothing, and the god also says that he can make a human of flame attribute much stronger. He thinks it's rather moving since he's at the insectile grade and his attribute is flame. But still, he's not gonna accept it even though the Master of All Flames tells him that it was a very good opportunity and asks him why he isn't responding. He started to walk when the interface told him that the Master of All Flames is watching him. Later, a mantis attack him, but he slashed it in time before he got hit. He grabs its spirit pearls and his current spirit pearl count is 36 over 1,000. He needs to collect 1,000 insectile grade spirit pearls, but it doesn't necessarily mean hunting 1,000 monsters. There are different classes to spirit pearls. The tertiary insectile grade gigantic worm is times to 1,000. Primary insectile grade sickle mantis is times to 334, and tertiary humanly grade ghosts is times 100. He killed a bunch of mantises in his past life since he wasn't skilled enough, but he don't need to do it this time. Each ghost counts as 10, so he needs to go further in. He saw traces of a trap and wonder why there's a blood, so he wonders if could it be that person was already on the move. In his past life, he became a target of a masked murderer there and Sua saved his life because she happened to be in the area, but Sua ended up losing an eye in the process of saving him. After it, he ran away and they never found out who he was. He ran away fast wondering if it's only Sua's group and Doc Gajun in there. After a few minutes of running, he saw a lot of people looking at the girl lying on the ground. He looked closely and saw that it was Jael while remembering his cruel bad dream. He furiously runs toward them and swings his sword at the man near Jael, ordering him to get away from Jael. Meanwhile, Ju asks his team if the missing trainee from the Room of Ice come back, and they replied trainee Gunam has yet to come back. Ju thinks he's probably dead and Sungti said he expected more from Gunam since he was the first to clear the Room of Hellfire. Chasha asked Ju if she should go look for Gunam, but he replied no, and told her that they cannot intervene when it comes to the demon realm. Also, remind her that in the first place, everyone signed the agreement in case of death, but she was frustrated. Ju changed the topic and told them that another area has already produced someone who has cleared the room from Area 1. He told them that the first to clear the room out of the even number of areas must be one of them because they can't lose to Area 1. After the meeting, Sungti asks Chasha how is she gonna keep doing their job if she's so grieved over just one person dying when she already knew people would die. But she told him that there's something else on her mind making him ask what. She replied that she was checking the other area's trainee list because she was done with organizing the files, and she saw that one of the trainees there was a serial killer. Back to Seo pointing his sword near the man's neck ordering him to get away from Jael. The man told him to calm down and that they should talk first while he was activating his destiny detection. He saw that the man's name is Nam Yujun, his class is tertiary humanly grade and his attribute is flame. Yujun explained that they are healing Jael and he was holding an antidote from the shop. He looked around and saw the people class and told them to put their weapons down. Jael made a painful sound and he looked at her, then saw that her state is poison, fever, paralysis. So he realized Yujun was right that Jael needs the antidote. He angrily asks them how can he trust them and thinks he has to take Jael away. Sua, Bom, and the other girl arrive and called his name from behind while running toward them. Sua told him that they were not their enemies, and he asked her what is their situation then. The girl with Sua raised her hand and said she'll explain it. She's Ju Hyeryung, her class is secondary ghostly grade. Her attribute is gold and god name is the guardian of the Ju family. She explained that Jael actually walked into a trap they set up to hunt monsters and they didn't know people from other areas were there. She told him that they brought Jael over for treatment and she just came back from removing all the traps they set in their area. He saw her ability as a trap setter. Class is primary humanly grade and the higher her class, the more traps she can set. Also, she can lure and prey even without bait. He remembers that the murderer in his past life was good with poison and traps too and he thinks Hyeryung seems to be the strongest out of their group. Plus she's also been possessed by an ancestor god. But considering abilities, Yujun is more suspicious. His ability is Stealthy 1. Class is tertiary humanly grade and when stops breathing to temporarily makes his body invisible. But the invisibility will go away when he begins breathing again. But he thinks Yujun is too weak to harm Sua. He agreed and thinks since he doesn't know who the murderer is, he'll just have to be wary of them all. He goes to Jael while asking Yujun if the treatment is done, and he replied yes. He told them that he'll take Jael. Then they walk away while he's carrying Jael in his back. He realizes that even none of them are the murderer. It's dangerous to go around with people from Area 4. The night comes. They were preparing the fire for the night when Sua told him that it gets dark there fast. Jael sits down next to Sua telling her that she has never slept in the wilderness before. Bom appeared behind her and told her that she was a coward. Jael asks Bom if she isn't scared because there are a bunch of monsters there. Suddenly, Seo throws something making the girls confused. When it fell to the ground, it started burning releasing a black fog. Sua asked him what it was and he replied that it is supposed to chase away monsters and he got it from the shop. Jael searched for it in the shop amazed that he knows so much to which Bom agreed and said he was strong and so knowledgeable. Bom asks him if she can be his student making him surprised and confused. Jael told him that she wanted to be his student too and said she was probably better than her sister, making Bomb angry and telling her that she asked first. Hearing the twins argue for the smallest reason makes him smile and told the twins that he's not going to teach anyone, so they should not fight. Suddenly, he was shocked to remember the twins asking him why he get involved with them. He immediately stands up, making Sua next to him confused. Then he walks away, making Jael ask him where is he going, and he replied that it's too loud there, so he's gonna sleep away from there. Then told them not to wait up for him, leaving the three girls confused and worried about him. He disappointedly asked himself what the hell he was doing because he was supposed to distance himself. After it, he realized that he have things to do and unwrapped the cloth in an unknown egg mouth. He swings the leaves near the unknown egg's mouth, telling it to eat it up. But when it eats it, it rejected the substance and requested meat. The interface warned him that the unknown egg is going on a hunger strike. He stopped the branch of the tree, ordering it to eat, which it did immediately in horror. After consuming it, the unknown growth state increased to 0.4% and he ordered it to eat more. After it, he goes up the branch of the tree where he can see the three girls. The god asked him, "Why have you returned?" and the other god responded that he must have been concerned about his comrade. The god said it was called Tsunir, making the other god ask what Tsunir was. The god explained that spring potatoes are the best and that Tsunir kids will give him some, to which the other god said he get it. And it was exactly Seal, but Seal was decided that he was going to advance and turn the god's communication off. The god said Seal can just be with his comrades, but he was doing the push-pull thing again, to which the other god agreed and said it was Seo's whole concept, but the god said he was just getting irritated. On the other hand, Bomb furiously asked Jael why isn't she being careful, and Jael told her to stop nagging her because she's reflecting on her action already, while Sua just smiling and looking at the twins arguing. One of the gods told the other gods to be quiet because he can't hear what Seo's comrades are saying while he just smiling and looking at the twins. It reminds him of the Flying Tiger sect. Harangue, and he used to bicker like the twins all the time, and back then, Sua always just smiled at them. It was their ordinary life back then. He's going to be too busy, but he thinks the Flying Tiger sect in their current life will be bustling too. He thinks it's a bit bittersweet and its sight is so warm and sweet. Suddenly, he smelled something and wondered what it was. The monsters nearby smelled it too and immediately run to where the three girls stay. He immediately jumps off the tree, making Sua shocked. She called his name confused and asked him if he was looking for something while he was cutting the bushes. He saw something and asked Sua if did everyone vacate the area while he was away. Sua replied no, and he grabbed the fruit on the ground. He looks at the demonic peach, class tertiary insectile grade, and it's a peach enjoyed by demons. It attracts the demon with its scent and it does not have any particular flavor. He asks if anyone comes by at all. He saw a lot of peaches nearby, but there are no fruit trees nearby, so he knows that someone left the fruits there intentionally and he thought it was the murderer bastard. He picked up the peaches and put them in his bag, wondering if it was the bastard with the invisibility technique. Jael told him that Gajan passed by earlier. He asked her if it really Gajan, not a stranger from a different area. Jael agreed and told him that Gajan passed by an hour ago. Bomb asks him if did Gajan do something and told him that Gajan was glaring at them quite a bit. He wonders if Doc Gajan is the murderer, but he thinks who knows what Gajan lunatic is thinking. He told them that there's a whole bunch of fruits that attract demons over there. Sua asks him if he means somebody intentionally tried to put them in danger, and Jael fearfully asks, who would do it? He replied he didn't know, but one thing he was certain of is that they need to be wary of humans going forward. He told them that he'll take care of all those fruits without knowing that the murderer was hiding behind the tree. He felt something and immediately turned around. He sensed someone, but they disappeared. On the other hand, in some places in the forest, Gajan was killing monsters and he was bored. After killing monsters, he walks away thinking that the plot is so trash. There are no rivals, comrades, or enemies. There are no gods or heroes that interest him, and he has just been hunting the low-level demons, so he wonders what is his role. Then he remembered hearing Jael asking how is Seo so strong, and Bomb responded that she didn't think he'd be able to defeat the Yeti. He remembered that Seo managed to defeat a boss-level demon that even he didn't encounter, as the first person who cleared the room of ice and rescued someone, so he wondered why would a person who is capable of it be defeated by Gunam in the room of hellfire. Then he realizes something and wonders what if pushing Gunam in his direction was all planned by Seo. What if Seo is someone who returned from the future, so he knows all the strategies and rewards, and what if he just wanted to get rid of him so he could hog all the necessary rewards? Then he thinks all the puzzle pieces would fit. He immediately runs because he needs to find Seo Gangren. On the other hand, he opened his map and saw that the current discovery rate is 35%. Then he starts to walk while looking at the map. The god asks him why isn't he going to hunt when he only managed to collect 200 spirit pearls, and the other gods ask him why he keeps staring at the map and told him that it was his specialty, so they should do a possession. He replied that he didn't even tell him who tossed the demonic peaches, that gods cleared their throats and told him that they didn't see them either, but he just closed his map, highly doubt to the god's response. He looks around, making the gods ask him what is he searching for. One of the gods asks him if he's looking for it, making the other god ask what he means by it. But the god just responded it was a secret. The interface told him that he had focused on searching for a long time, so his sense has increased to class 25 and his senses are sharpened. Then he smells the scent of human blood near him. He turns back while activating his destiny-stealing ability, while it searches for the deceased within the applicable region. He saw a man on the ground. He recognizes the man lying on the ground and he immediately runs toward the man while activating his flame ability and attacks the murderer using his sword. But the murderer blocks it. Still, he hit the man a little in the head. His stealing ability told him that there was no deceased in the applicable region. The murderer swings his sword at him while telling him that if someone collapses, he should check on them instead of wielding his sword. But he jumps back to avoid it and told the murderer to shut up. The murderer's mask broke and it was burning, so he's slowly taking it off a maze of him because he was quick to catch on and ask him how did he know he killed them. Behind the mask was Nam Yujun telling him that he understand that he can't leave any witnesses. Also, he was possessed by the fear of the living and dead. Yujun attacked him and he saw that his other ability is an impulse to murder, class primary demonic grade, and it absorbs the stats of anyone murdered by the user's hands and builds karma upon usage. He realizes that Yujun bastard's stats have doubled since the last time he saw him. Yujun continuously attack him, but he just block it and run away. He asked him how many people have he killed in that time. Yujun happily asked him if he can tell he murdered a lot, and he furiously told him that he seemed happy about it, and asked him if it was not enough for him to hunt demons. Yujun responded that it was pretty fun hunting demons too, so he tried to stay quiet, but Lord Natural gave him that power to kill people, so it would be a waste not to use it. He furiously shouted to tell him that just because of it he killed people. Yujun asked him why is he angry, and if he had power that he could only activate by killing people, wouldn't he have done the same while slowly fading? He positioned himself while Yujun was becoming invisible. While he was waiting for Yujun to attack, he furiously told him that he make it sound like anyone would have done the same. But he told him that he was wrong.